Australians love a grand final. It means something. It gets the nerves pumping and the blood boiling. Our footy codes live for one day, the grand final. In racing, there are many parallels. In spring, the grand final happens at Flemington. In autumn, it's Sydney's Royal Randwick. For everyone involved, this is their grand final. From the florists to the track managers, the chefs to the milliners. Today is the culmination of a long season, all timed for this one day, this grand final. And for those magnificent thoroughbreds that give meaning to the party, they too have been trained to the second. There is sense to this early morning madness. In the dark of the track work, instructions are barked by trainers and followed by jockeys.
Go Richard, lead him up 6-2, right? Slide him up.
You and Adrian back on the big grass, you go 4 home, 2 best come away, right?
That's how this chain of command works. Furlongs are timed and analysed. And when the sun has finally risen, the thoroughbred is treated, swum, and fed. Equine athletes on their way to the grand final. Today, they parade in all their gleaming glory at the peak of their fitness and ability to be ridden by men and women who starve, sweat, and sacrifice for a shot at their own glory on this day, the grand final. Sydney's stunning harbour and its racing home, Royal Randwick, become the showpiece of the thoroughbred world. This is the championships, the grand finals of thoroughbred racing.
And another stunning day in Sydney, as we had last week for day 1 of the championships, as we roll into day 2, with the feature being the Longines Queen Elizabeth. It's the richest weight for age race in Australia at $4 million plus the trophies. And all up, can you believe it, $10.8 million, including the trophies, with the 4 Group 1s. Royal Randwick looks great. Hugh Bowman, well, he's already started with the winner today, but he could get to $20 million in prize money won this season. No jockey's ever done that. He's on about $14.5 million. He's been sweeping the borders, Hughie. And that's him on the Mighty Winks last week. More about her later. And what about for Ollie? He's had a little bit of a drought, to be honest, in Sydney, but if he wins a Group 1 today, and he's hitched his ride with Kiramara a bit today, with Az Cordelia and Jamaica, also with Chris Lees, with Lucia Valentina, he'll join Roy Higgins on 108 Group 1 wins. He maybe go past him. George Moore's the only jockey to have won more than that on 119. So it's real racing royalty with Ollie today. Hello, welcome to Royal Randwick. It feels royal, it really does. It is a championship day, a grand final day, as we said. Wonderful horses, and I'm with Simon and Simon. And do you know what? Of all those Group 1 races, I love an Oaks, and we've got a good one today.
We certainly have. Ollie will have to have all these special abilities on board Jamaica. Her last 3 races have been at Group 1 level. She has drawn barrier 12, 14 and 12. Today in the Oaks, she will jump from barrier 14. He'll need all these special qualities, so will she. But I think today we will crown her the best 1.5 mile filly in the country.
And Sim, the Kiwis are here to take it away from Jamaica too. Some wonderful 3-year-old fillies. They've already taken out the 3-year-old Derby with Tavago. The Coolmore Legacy, the Group 1 for fillies and mares. It's as tough as Ronda Rousey to pick the winner in that, but we'll have a crack. And strap yourself into the recliner, folks, for the Sydney Cup. It's a test of 3,200 metres, and I'm leaning towards Grand Marshal. I wonder why. But the race for me today is the Queen Elizabeth. Weight for age racing at its best. And we've got the best horses there, but will Preferment, boys, continue his dominance, or will Criterion bow out as a back-to-back winner of the race and become a daddy and go to stud?
Simon won at Queen Elizabeth. No wonder he's keen on it. I can remember. It was a brilliant ride, as always. So here's the program today. A total of 21 scratchings, but one of those occurred in the first today. A lot of the emergencies are out, and not too many key scratchings. I guess our Ivanhoe was the biggest one during the week. We get towards the Group 1s with the James Bogue, Australian Oaks, and then we get to the Schweppes Sydney Cup, the Coolmore Legacy Stakes, the Longines Queen Elizabeth, the Jewel in the Crown today, and we finish up with the Census Sapphire Stakes. Race 1 run today, the Fernhill. This is over 1,600, a listed race, 150,000 for the 2-year-olds James Cummings, Hugh Bowman combined for Guru Stud with Prized Icon. He has been just so consistent, hasn't he?
His 4 runs this time in have been super without winning, but today he controlled the speed. Look at the big chest on this guy. Got through to going well. They raced on the inside of the track, and that's a mile win at listed level now for the son of More Than Ready. James Cummings, the trainer, and Hugh Bowman. Formidable partnership, these two. Watch them grow throughout the next couple of years.
He was a drifter, so he got out to reasonable odds. Crown him and Lescetty Spirit, and the first 4 was $661.60. So we get to the absolute crown and the jewel on the first day of the championships, and it's the Doncaster Mile and the people's horse, and that's what she is at the moment, Winks. She's won 6 out of 6 this season. She's going for her 9th consecutive win. She's the Australian champion.
We dream all our life to have horses like Winks. I think we've got to remember where we have got them, enjoy it without getting too worked up.
We seem to have settled on $1.80 now here for Winks. It's a record hold for us. We haven't held this much on a horse before.
It's only been 2 4-year-old mares since World War II to win it. The last was Private Steer with 53 kilos. She's got 56.5.
So here we go. Darren Flindell for the prize of them all, the Star Doncaster Mile on the first day of the championships. Winks carrying a nation on her back.
Here we go. Stand by. Racing in the Doncaster, and Bow Creek missed the start. Now Winks is well back in the field as they settle down to the first turn. Winks is back, 4th last past the 800 metres from Rudy, he or she, and last of all is Ascadelia.
Navigator pass, and wasn't she unbelievable?
We'll enjoy today and see what happens from here.
And for you to hear a reaction to a horse that you trained, I mean, you love racing. This is remarkable.
Doesn't get any better.
Well done, Winks.
It's all about Winks, Waller and Bowman. Something to say. Well, the Cox Plate set her up, but that was her career-defining race, wasn't it?
Champions always get up off the mat, and that's exactly what she did in the Doncaster last. She was history at the 600-metre mark. Huey Bowman said it after the race. She's never travelled like that for me in the race. She just wasn't handling it. And to pick herself up, weave through the field, get tightened and squeezed at the 400, pick herself up again, and then go whooshka. We saw something very special, Bruce.
And Chris Waller can do plenty of things, but he said before to Richo, he said, let's enjoy it and control our emotions as we can, and even he couldn't at the end. I mean, we saw that, didn't we? And, of course, Simon, her half-brother by Schnitzel, this week has sold for $2.3 million. Now, you were at the English sales, you had a good look at the colt. Gay Waterhouse actually was the successful bidder in the end, and it was very exciting stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, $2.3 million. He was the top price colt at the sale, and as he should be. I mean, people ask, you know, is that a good price for a horse like this? And he was a nice enough individual. Yes, it is, because it's all about supply and demand. You only supply one out of Winks's mum every year, so that's how it happens. And if that horse is popular enough, it can be the top horse in the sale, and that's exactly how it happened.
The full story on that coming up later, and we will talk to Gay. So what a story that turned out to be. And the Freedman name is one of the most famous in Australian racing. Together they were known as Freedman Brothers Incorporated, or FBI for short. Michael Freedman carved a successful training career in Singapore, but he's now returned and he's set up shop at Rosehill Gardens. Jason Richardson has that story.
Michael Freedman, welcome back to Australia.
Thank you, Richo. Good to be back.
It's so many things I want to talk to you about your amazing journey, but let's go to the present day. You've just arrived back in Sydney, and I can imagine that must have been a really tough choice to leave Singapore.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we'd been there for 8 years, and it had been a successful 8 years, and really enjoyable. It was good for the family and business-wise, but yeah, we got to the stage where probably halfway through last year I started to really think long and hard about how much longer we wanted to be there.
Freedman Brothers, FBI as it was known. I mean, my brother and I couldn't work together. We'd be punching on the whole time. How did four brothers get together and work together?
Oh, it had its moments.
Tell us some good ones.
I won't go into details, but, you know, look, I'd be lying if I said we didn't have... Of course, we had times when we disagreed on things, and, sometimes it got pretty heated. Occasionally got physical.
Yeah? Really?
A little bit, yeah.
So you would always go for Richard if it got physical, wouldn't you? Yeah, you wouldn't want to take on Anthony.
Oh, no, actually, the other way around.
Oh, really? Why Rosehill and not Randwick?
I think the facilities there are second to none. The stabling's fantastic. The amount of use you get of the tracks that are available out there are terrific. I think, by virtue of the fact that the biggest stable in Australia is based there probably speaks volumes for Rosehill as a training centre. The horses have all settled in well, and I'm certainly enjoying training there. I think one thing that I have learned is that the horses are a lot more resilient with what they're able to cope with than perhaps we give them credit for.
Right, okay.
And I think, I would certainly bring some of that Asian experience to training here as well, and perhaps taking a slightly different approach now than perhaps what I would have had I not gone and trained in Asia.
Okay, so Michael Freedman Racing arrives in Sydney. How many boxes have you got? And then you've got to translate the success in Singapore, the famous name, to owners. That's what we hear at the yearling sale, trying to find new horses and new owners.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 32 boxes at Rosehill, which is a nice number to start with. I think at the moment I've got about 15 unraced 2-year-olds in training. We're probably about 3 or 4 weeks from having our first runners. And we've got a nice bunch of yearlings coming through for next season. I've been really overwhelmed with the level of support from, people that have seen me come back and say, OK, I'm going to give you a horse to...
Get to the Arrowfield Sprint. Huey Bowman's won this race 5 times, including last year for Chris Waller. They team up with Japanese. We're speaking of jockeys, Huey flying, but you've got a bit of news, Richo. What's happening?
Gee, it's a tough caper, isn't it, being a jockey? Brett Preble going for home in the Provincial Championship on Powerline. And as we have a look at the vision, he led throughout and then he kicked for home. He asked his horse for every possible effort. And in the cut and thrust driving towards the line, he has struck his horse 1 more times than allowed before the 100-metre mark. And the stewards have just fined him $600 as a result. Simon Marshall will be able to talk about that. $160 for a ride. That's without the prize money. So Brett Preble, if he doesn't earn any prize money today, is going to be riding for free.
Well, thanks, Richo, for that. They're cracking down on the use of the whip. It's mighty hard on big days and big occasions when there's so much prize money up for grabs in the heat of the moment to try and count how many times you strike a horse with the whip. This is the difficulty that the jockeys are proposing to all the officials, and in particular the stewards. So stay tuned on that one. It's going to get a heated discussion, that, with jockeys and stewards.
So Crown Bet, market mover for the Arrowfield Sprint. Maddie?
Seems as though James Jordan has some fans, Bruce. They reckon he's ready to strike. Stellar Collision, who he tipped at 20 to 1, is our market mover, including one punter, 10,000 at the 20s.
OK, well, we're backing him all the way as well, so let's hope for Darren Weir's sake that Stellar Collision can get home. I think it's Weir's only runner for the day, probably is. Mark Zara to ride. So horse number 8. Now, what about Richo and the two Simons?
I'm sticking with the class here, Japanese me, and I like the way he presented in the mounting yard. He's held his condition well.
I always think you're right.
And Jasoni for Jason. I tell you what,
wait till the next race. Hey,
I just think he's a class above.
I've got to say, I like the way King Like presented. He got it wrong at Moonee Valley, and at those odds, you go back to his start here at Randwick behind English, who ran third in the Galaxy, I think it was. Yeah, the Galaxy Group 1. That's very good odds for King Like if he's back to somewhere near his best, and he looked like it in the yard.
Well, this can be a stallion-making race. It has all the potential for it. Could a filly upset them? Here's Darren Flindell for the Arrow filly.
To the outside draw, and we're all set now. Ready for the Arrow field. Japanese is the favourite. And they're off and racing. And Gasoni from the outside draws, jumped about midfield. Petit Falou won the start. Takedown and King Like are showing plenty of speed, and Spill the Beans is mustering to join them. Bassett Park's just behind from Egyptian Symbol. Then came further back to Hellbent on the rails. Stellar Collision deeper out from Spieth. Counter-attack. McDonald's gone back to second last on Gasoni. And 3 lengths away to Lake Geneva. King Like takes up the running from Takedown, and Petit Falou caught 3 deep on the outside of Japanese and Spill the Beans. A length and a half further back to Bassett around Egyptian Symbol. Counter-attack deeper out from Hellbent. Then Stellar Collision from Spieth. Gasoni's back towards the inside running rail. One off it as they turn. King Like in front from Takedown. Japanesma. Bowman rides very confidently from Egyptian Symbol. Spill the Beans. Wider out Petit Falou. And then Hellbent making ground on the rails. Japanesma being called upon now. It goes up to join King Like. Counter-attacks running on. Gasoni's looking for the run behind them. Japanesma just in front from counter-attack. Japanesma from counter-attack. Japanesma's clinging on. Oh, he switched legs right on the post. I think he got him, Japanesma, but counter-attack took advantage and lunged. King Like possibly third from Takedown, and poor Gasoni couldn't get out of a pocket. Then Egyptian Symbol, Spill the Beans, Spieth, Lake Geneva, Stellar Collision, Bassett, Hellbent, Petit Falou's covered ground and finished last. It's a photo finish.
That's a brilliant call by Darren Flindell, and he's been criticised a bit over the last year or so, I think unfairly. He just summed that up so perfectly. That horse did change leads, counter-attack, did try to take advantage. Jasoni couldn't get out of a pocket, and we're waiting for the photo finish, and he has won. It's Chris Waller, first and second, and it's Huey Bowman yet again.
Huey Lewis in the news. We love him, don't we? I'll tell you what, let's wait to the head-on. Let's have a look at the head-on. There's a bit of movement here. Japanese
could be a pro.
Takedown, King Like all came together. Then counter-attack on the outside shifts in. Look at the all blue behind the pink. Look at Jasoni trying to get out. She's got nowhere to go. Do these horses come together on the line? The pink and the black on the outside of Japanesme. Huey Bowman just pulls that left rein outwards. Counter-attack doesn't go near him. All clear. Jasoni very stiff back in behind the filly. Let's have a look at a clear vision right here, Simon O'Donnell. Nicely bunched. King Like leads.
I think Huey got a bit of a shock here. He travelled into the race as if he was the winner. I thought he was even travelling better than Jasoni in the blue behind him. Counter-attack just on the outside. Takedown, a good effort. He really stuck to his task. When Huey asked Japanesme to go, there wasn't a hell of a lot there. I think he thought he was just going to put a length and a half on them and hold them for the rest of the race. But he had to dig deep, both horse and jockey. Good effort from the second and third horse. And, of course, look at the filly there in the blue. Just didn't get a crack.
And when horses change stride like that, they're out of petrol, they're out of tickets, so they're looking to just change legs, like a dog or a cat would when they're turning, just to try and find some reserved energies from somewhere. Look at him try hard. He's a class horse, this guy. He's a Group 1 winner. He's had 4 cracks at Group 1 level. He's won one and been third twice. Today gets his Group 2.
Takes his prize money to over $1 million. They are some of the most famous colours in Australian racing. And the Inghams, Deb Capitas now, the daughter part of this, as we see Chris Waller. The Inghams a big part of Chris Waller's life, Richo, that's for sure.
Yeah, they certainly have. The Ingham family, just Bruce McAvaney saying what a close association we've had with the Ingham family since you started another group win there.
Yeah, they've been very special to me. They came to me before I had a Group 1 winner. So, and this horse was a Group 1 winner for them back in the spring, and he's been unlucky not to have won another one since. Last start in particular, the William Reid, it was close to his best run. So he came into the race with good form, and he's got the job done. Narrowly, at least it was a stablemate fight riding him.
That's right. Jeff and Mary Grimish with their horse charging at him as well. So you're in a conflicted spot there as the trainer.
Yeah, certainly were, and they've been great supporters too. So I can remember back, although where Red Tracer narrowly beat Catkins in the mire. So it goes in roundabouts, and they won all.
Fantastic for Japanisme to win this race. You touched on it. He certainly deserved that. What's next for him?
He's a great sprinter, so they're hard to come by, believe it or not. And we thought about taking him overseas, but I think it's a year premature. Get another Group 1 or 2 next to his name, and then he can go for those sprint races later on. So obviously the family will decide that, but he'll be in the Group 1 sprints in the spring.
Terrific win, well done.
Thanks.
Speaking about going overseas, of course, the father of this horse is into the Australian Racing Hall of Fame because of what he did. Choisir, he went overseas and won the King's Stand and the Golden Jubilee. He was a remarkable chestnut horse. He's been a very good sire, hasn't he? And this is one of his best horses.
Trained by Paul Perry, who trained also Fastnet Rock. Outstanding trainer, great team. And this is what it's all about for the owners, coming back in a huge crowd on the right of screen after your horse winning. That's what it's all about. You spend the money to buy them at yearling sales, as they've had just recently. Now they get the cash back and walk down that wonderful lane.
Well, what a connection of, Deb Capitas, the owner, Huey Bowman, Chris Waller, and I think of the mighty Mare Winks, and she's been the show stealer so far in these championships. A win last week in the Doncaster took her to greatness status. This week at the English Sales, the next breed of champs went under the hammer, including a half-brother to Winks. So let's have a little tease for that story.
He posed in front of our cameras as though, I know my sister's a superstar, you're just waiting to see me.
Yeah, like it'd be terrible to come up with through the family and having Winks as your eldest sister.
Is there $1 million for him? $1 million for him. $1 million down. Everyone come on. He's a half to wait. 1.1.2.
Over budget? I don't think so. If he went and became the racehorse we believe he will, you can't buy him. So it's better to go here and start at the bottom and get him, at the basement. So we can have the fun of racing him.
So the Arrowfield, now Japanisme is about to go after takedown, counter-attack a long way back, but starting to really rev up. He got close and he did switch his legs right on the line, Japanisme. But he gets up alongside now, and Huey's probably thinking, I've got these two covered. I've got King Light covered, I've got takedown covered, counter-attack's coming pretty hard and pretty late. Jasoni can't get out. You can see James McDonald just desperate to get a run in the All Blue. And it gets so tight. Counter-attack's taking ground off the stable, mate. Japanisme changes legs right there. Hangs on to win by half a head from counter-attack. It was a terrific finish and 110.3, so correct weight. And Japanisme adds the Arrowfield to the Coolmore stud. Counter-attack tanked out, just terrific. And the first four was 2,587. Huey Bowman's got 3 winners today. He's with Richo.
Well, here were your big 3, and that would give you a lot of satisfaction. A horse who was certainly due that.
Yeah, it certainly was. Look, he put the writing on the wall how good he was when he was beaten well by Xmosphere here sort of last year in the springtime, and he went to Melbourne. He won the Coolmore down there, and he's a genuine Group 1 horse, and he met a field probably that lacked the depth of the horses he's been meeting in the past few starts, but he had a bit of a look around late to the post. He gave me a bit of a scare, but no, he got the job done.
That's right, and 3 amazing wins for you, and fingers crossed, more to come with that man, CJ Waller.
Yeah, look, I obviously prefer him, and he's been a wonderful horse to us already this campaign, so we've got high hopes for him in what looks to me to be a very competitive race, and why wouldn't it be for the $4 million on offer by Longines?
Okay, and you've been riding on the track. Does the track suit preferment? Because there was a concern that it was going to be a little wet for him.
Yeah, look, he's better on top of the ground, but he raced here before he went and won the Turnbull in the springtime, and he won in worse conditions than this. But then again, the race wasn't as competitive either. So, look, he's better on top of it, but it's not too wet for him.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Huey's now leading in the Nathan Berry medal by 1 vote over Tommy Berry. Simon Marshall, we're going riding with Craig Williams, and he has a pretty big ride here, doesn't he?
Oh, straight out of the 1,200-metre chute. Look at this, from gate 9, gets a little bit of cover. Japanisme's in front of him in the pink. You can see a gypsum symbol is in the black and white squares on the yellow sleeves to the right of screen. That's stellar condition on his outside, just wanting to squeeze him up. Bassett there in the white with the white, blue stripes. As we gallop down the side now, just a beautiful, nice tempo. Petite Falu's caught 3 and 4 deep. Japanisme in the pink keeps Damien Oliver out wide. You can see Spill the Beans in the yellow and the black diamonds right of screen. King-like out in front with takedown. We turn for home inside the 400. You can see Petite Falu, she's gone. Counter-attacks pushing through, getting on the back slipstream there of Japanisme. It's a ding-dong battle. King-like presses a button, takedown. Here comes Japanisme. He joins in. Right here, counter-attack. Craig Williams thinks, I've got you. I'm going to peg you back. Look to the right of screen. The red whale. That's 100 metres out now, and he just misses as he gets to the line. Huey Bowman, look at that left arm throwing the kitchen sink there at Japanisme as he changes stride. Great gallop. That's a 6-furlong gallop if you love one. There's the owners, Deb, Capitas and the gang. This horse breaks the $1 million mark after that. What a phenomenal sprinter he is. He's a gelding. He's only 3 years of age, and he's a star.
Yeah, we'll see him back for the Darley Classic, I'm sure, at Flemington during the big carnival down there. That's what Chris Waller thought. And then maybe eventually, after big races in the autumn, off to a place like Royal Ascot. So a terrific win for Chris Waller and Huey Bowman. And to think we've had so much great racing already, and the Group 1s, including the Oaks, are about to start.
For over 130 years, the Australian Oaks has been the ultimate test for the classic 3-year-old filly. Run over the 2,400-metre trip, the best staying fillies from Australia and New Zealand race for $1 million in prize money. Some of the greats to win this race, Surround, and in recent years, Royal Descent. The Kiwis have won the last 2 Oaks with Rising Romance and Gust of Wind. And this year, the Kieran Maher-trained Jamaica from Victoria is looking to become just the 4th filly to win the VRC Oaks and Australian Oaks double. And on board the Iron filly, Damien Oliver, striving for his first win in this classic.
And it's a fantastic field today. Jamaica up the top. Robert Smurden knows what it's like to win big Oaks, but I reckon Simon O'Donnell, if he wins today, there might be a tear in his eye. Totes for the Oaks today, and brought to you by James Bogue. So Jamaica's the favourite at 360, single gaze at 870. Onesta's in the market, then the New Zealanders, Valley Girl, Sophia Rose. A Diamond Maid who won a big odds last start. She boards the horse, of course, for Robert Smurden at $55. Happy Hannah, $5. That would be some sort of a story. Hannah, the daughter of John Singleton. Let's go and join Richo. He's with Ollie.
Well, I'm joined by champion jockey and Damien Oliver. What should be a super day, mate. Let's talk about 2 of Kieran Maher's. Firstly, as Cadelia on the quick backup. Do you think it'll suit?
Yeah, well, it hasn't bothered her in the past. She ran really well Cox Plate Day and backed up terrifically on Derby Day. Was a bit unlucky in the mire. So, you know, she's ran super here in the Doncaster. Doesn't mind the soft ground, so I think she's done well during the week. Expect a big run from her.
Talking about a backup, Jamaica. I mean, she just looks the obvious, and she was fantastic against the boys, now back against the girls.
Yeah, she was a bit unknown with her. We haven't backed her up before, but as you said, super run in the Derby. She keeps drawing the wide gates, which aren't helping, but, you know, if she reproduces that run from the Derby, we expect her to be right there again.
And you go and put her right on the pace like she has in the past?
Yeah, look, I probably will. I'll just see how the day unfolds a little bit first, but that's probably the likely scenario.
Are you a stats man? Do you know that if you get one more Group 1, you equal the great Roy Higgins, you know, one of your great idols?
Oh, really? I didn't know that, but that would be a huge honour to share that feat with Roy. He was a wonderful man and a great jockey as well.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
So maybe a bit of history beckons for Ollie today here at Royal Randwick. Well, the fillies of the future, well, they're racing today in the Oaks and the Colts, of course, in the Derby last week. It was all about that at the English sires, or the sales, I should say, this week. And can you believe it? A $2.3 million colt goes, a half-brother by Stitzel, to the mighty Winks. And Gai Waterhouse was front and centre.
Pete, tell us about lot 135. I'm sure this colt has been the most popular here at the sales yard.
Very much so. I mean, obviously, he's a half-brother to Winks. Everybody knows how good she is. Probably importantly for us, his full brother, Il Divino, won the kindergarten on Saturday. So the mare, I think, is going to be one of, we call them blue hen mares, where they just, no matter what stallion they go to, they throw a good racehorse, and this fella I think is as good as Winks, if not better, at the same age.
How many times has he been out of his box walking around in front of people?
Well, at the moment he's already been out 160 times, which is a lot. It seems nothing, it's a walk for a horse, but it's a lot for a young horse. It's always interesting to see how they handle the pressure of a sale, and he's like a professional. He's just got the perfect temperament to be a racehorse.
He posed in front of our cameras as though, I know my sister's a superstar, you're just waiting to see me.
Yeah, like it'd be terrible to be come up and through the family and having Winks as your eldest sister. But look, we're very hopeful with him. He ticks every box as far as pedigree, his looks. He's been very well received. You never know on a horse sale what they're going to make, and we're just hopeful that people like him as much as we do.
Is there $1 million for him? $1 million for him. $1 million down. Everyone, come on. He's a half of weight. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 million, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, $7 million down. Every 1.7 million. 2 million. He said. 2 million bid. 2 million. $2 million down. Going to be 2. Come on. Turn the corner. Go. 2.1. 2.2. With the hammers up, I sell right hand side. Make no mistakes with the 2.3. I sell in front, selling out for 2.3 million. 2.3 buys. Right, well bought, Dave Waterhouse. Hold your applause, please. Hold your applause, please, so we can get the colt out of the ring.
Amazing result, 2.3 million. In your heart of hearts, what did you think that you were going to get for this colt?
Well, quite honestly, an hour beforehand, we thought around 1.3 to 1.5 would have been great. So, and we bring the horses here to sell, so we put him on at $1 million. That was a reserve. So, when he got on the market and the $2 million barrier got hit, we thought, well, this is fairly serious. So, thrilled is an understatement.
Well, Gai, firstly, congratulations to you, and I believe there's going to be some famous colours with a very expensive horse coming your way.
Well, I'm very privileged to be training for Emirates Park. He stood out as the colt of the sale. And over budget, I don't think so. You look at what if he went and became the racehorse we believe he will, you can't buy him. So it's better to go here and start at the bottom and get him, at the basement, so we can have the fun of racing him.
So from the excitement of the sales ring to the excitement of race day, I'm with the First Lady of the Turf, Gai Waterhouse. What a big week you've had, Gai.
Certainly has been, Bruce. And it doesn't finish, of course, today with the championship here at Randwick. You've got the running of the Oaks and you've got the Arrowfield Sprint. You've got, of course, the Cup, and I've got 2 runners in that, Bruce.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about them now if you like, because they're both going well, and I think Cafe Society's a heck of a chance, and the New Zealand DIC's progressive, isn't he?
Very much so. DIC didn't race when Cafe Society did it 2 starts ago, so Cafe Society had that edge on him the other day, but I think they're pretty even Stevens. I can't fault the Cafe Society though, and he's beating his chest. He's as fit as a fiddle. He claims 3 kilos, I think, or 2 kilos off the horse that beat him the other day, and he was only beaten a head and a neck. I think he's a real live chance. You've got Chad Schofield, who's riding super and now riding in Hong Kong. And then DIC's a bit of a silent achiever. I think you'll probably see the best of him in the spring in Melbourne.
And what about all the blue bloods you've been involved with this week? I mean, you've got the half to Winks, a full brother to El Divino. You've got Lankin Rupee's brother. I mean, you must be absolutely thrilled with what you've come home with.
Certainly have. I was privileged enough to be able to be chosen to train these horses. I think that Winks' brother is quite different to him, more like Winks the Great Mare, and Lankin Rupee's just a very sexy, beautiful horse. Both colts are dreams, and we were able to secure some other lovely horses there too.
So, Gai, when I read that Gai Waterhouse is quietening down and things like that, and then I see this week, I just know that's not true.
Well, you should have learned long ago, Bruce, never to believe what you read in the papers.
Well, I do sometimes, Gai, but I know one thing, you'll always be around and a formidable force.
I hope so.
Terrific, Gai. Horses in the mounting yard now for the Oaks. We're going to take a quick break and be back. So the first of the 4 Group 1s today, the $1 million Australian Oaks. Let's start with Jamaica. And Simon, everyone wants to know, how did she pull up after the derby?
Yeah, have a look at it, Bruce. Got her head down, beautiful and alert, stretching out, lovely she is. She's backed up very well. There's no problem with her holding her condition. She's had the 4 runs in. She comes second off a derby. Tavago, the boy, beat her in that over that 2,400-metre gallop 7 days ago. No excuses, just Damien Oliver needs to get in, going out of the straight the first time and rest at some stage, and she's the one to beat.
Issue and Kira Ma, the trainer, joins me. What are the tactics?
Well, Damien's had plenty of practice at wide barriers on this horse this preparation, so I'd say it's probably similar to last week. You know, she'll roll forward if there's enough speed. Well, she'll slot in. If there's not, well, she'll take it up.
Okay, and for your point of view, has she pulled up well from that terrific run in the derby?
Yeah, she pulled up super. She hasn't left a note all week and seems nice and bright and free in her action, and she doesn't look to have tightened at all either. You know, she still looks like quite full in condition, so very happy with her.
Fantastic news. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Single Gaze won the Group 1, the Vinery. A good lead up. Oh, what a story for Nick Olive and Kathy O'Hara here, eh?
Yeah, she's had 6 runs, Bruce, and, you know, that was her peak run last start, wasn't it? Winning back-to-back races and her Group 1. Look, she's nice and alert. Just sweating up a little bit there on the neck. She's a fine filly. She looks perfect mile to mile and a quarter race. So I've got one question mark. That's the end of 2,400 metres for her. She's got that beautiful sit-and sprint. She'll give it every chance.
I think Anesta gets the 2,400 all right. She was good in the Oaks in Melbourne.
Yeah, I think that's a key ingredient to what we're going to see from Anesta today. She'll enjoy the extra journey. I think she needs sting out of the ground. There's a little bit out of the ground. Not all suits, but she should be kept safe in breeding. She's been turned out really well. This is the race they've set her for, this preparation. You can't have it looking any better in a mounting yard for an Oaks than that.
Sacred Eyes are big odds. Look, she had the big weight last week and she stuck to her guns.
Yeah, she stuck to her guns. I thought that was a poor race that she's come into this through the Adrian Knox. It was as weak as I've seen for a long time. So I'm not surprised she's out in betting. She's a filly with good talent. You would forget her last time trying at the 2,400, which is the VRC Oaks. She was wide the whole journey. You give her another chance.
Well, Ambience was in that Oaks in Melbourne as well. She was third. She was right up with the best fillies over a trip in the spring. I don't think she's come up, though, this time. You know, I think she's gone down a notch and the others have gone up a notch. But Valley Girl is one of 3 New Zealanders, and they're all with a chance, Simon.
Yeah, she's a beautiful size. Have a look at the size of her. I'll get right up beside her. That's a 2,400-metre filly. She was super last start. Just not quite sure she was happy on the inside of gallopers, so she'll improve with a little bit of room. She's drawn out, which will help her. Now, her New Zealand Derby run, where she was beaten less than a length, has been franked with Tavago. So she's right on cue to run super in this race.
Well, this next New Zealand filly is not as big, I don't think, and she comes through different form lines, but she lost the New Zealand Oaks on protest, Sophia Rose.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting a look at her, and looks like her coat looks good, and she's come up since that loss in the New Zealand Oaks. She is a very, very good filly. She's been...
She's gone out early, Simon, by the way. Sorry, mate, to butt in. She's gone out early.
That wasn't her, OK. Look, her form leading in New Zealand's been sensational. She's won her last 4, then the Oaks she ran second. The Kiwis do so well, and there we are. We're getting a quick look at her now, and she gets a little head up, so out she goes. But, well, Kiwis love coming over here and winning big races during the autumn, and I hope that fellow lets go in a moment, or he's going to be down the end of the straight.
And the bloke on her is riding pretty well, Huey Bowman. Look, Diamond Maid, it did look an average Adrian Knox, but I've got to say, the Adrian Knox normally holds up. Gusta Wynn was 4th in the race last year, wins. I thought she was impressive. I think she's, you know, a roughie with some hope. She was a maiden before last week, so we will see. Alaskan Rose was favourite in that race, and she finished strongly. She was only beaten a length. I thought it was probably the best run of the race with the winner. So she's only won 2 races. They were the first 2 starts in her career, but she's coming to hand pretty well. What about Capella, the third of the New Zealanders? And their form lines sort of mix and match, don't they, a bit?
They do. Well, it wasn't a bad run in the Vinery, and this filly took them on in the New Zealand Derby, not the Oaks. So has been taking on the boys back to her own sex today. You think is a plus for her, and she's been kept safe in betting. Looks well in the yard.
Well, you spoke to Robert Spoon earlier about Chabot, and look, Phil Sly, the owner of those famous colours. Mo Sheen, probably the horse, or certainly when you think Oaks with Phil Sly and Robert Spoon, those are the colours with Mo Sheen. She won the Tasmanian Oaks. She was OK last start against the boys, but it would be a surprise, but a lovely surprise. Self-esteem, good filly, in my opinion. She's huge odds, and she probably should be, but she raced against Ghost Protocol and ran well, and then at the last start, she did a lot of the work in the Vinery and was only beaten a length and a half. Look, it'll be a surprise, but I think she's a decent horse. Simon, this is a great story. John Singleton didn't come today. Hannah, his 21-year-old daughter, turned 21 during the week. She's got John's corporate box today, and I reckon they'll be swinging from the rafters if this one wins.
Yeah, she drifted back from an inside gate there last start, and she powered to the line. It was a really good Oaks trial. She was a good Oaks trial last start.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a better Oaks trial, Simon. She hit the line, you know, full of running, suggesting that the distance is going to be perfect today. She handles the sting out of the track, which is how it is today, and I love the way she's parading. She's nice and relaxed, is what you want to see, and yeah, bring it on. Let's do it.
Good luck, mate. Looks well, Bruce.
Well, Peter and Paul Snowden saddle up two runners here. I'm joined by Paul. Firstly, self-esteem. Is she have the class to win an Oaks?
Look, I think she's thrown under the radar a little bit, Rich. She's come through the lesser grade races, and to see her bob up the other day at the Vinery, stick on as well as she did, definitely wasn't a surprise to us. But look, it's going through a brooding. She's definitely not bred to sort of, you know, that stoutly bred side to get a real good grueling 2400. But she's as tough as nails. She doesn't know that, and she goes out there, and that's why she's her record speaks for herself.
Yeah, well, I'm convinced that Happy Hannah's good enough for this, though.
Well, Happy Hannah only just beat her home. Like, she was back on the fence, self-esteem, and Happy Hannah's beat her, you know, 3/4 a length in the Vinery. So, you know, if one can do well, hopefully the other one can do well.
Hopefully this great carnival of yours continues. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Interesting stuff comparing the two. Big difference in the price. And look, she only started racing on February the 6th, can you believe it or not? She's got talent, there's no doubt. I think she's probably getting towards the end of a first prep, but Anthony Cummings has pulled off a surprise or two in big races over the years, more than once, we know that. So James Jordan, now I am interested. Last week you gave us a very good tip with Jamaica in the Derby, the each way, and that came off. Have you stayed with her or not?
No, Bruce, I've deserted her. I just think she's got that outside gate, and it's a tricky start here at the 2,400 metres at Randwick. Probably only a 300-metre run to the first turn. With the outside gate, Ollie's going to have to work to get her across, and if he doesn't cross, he could be working a lot through the first 400 or 500 metres of the race. So I ended up going with, I was going to go with Sophia Rosa, but having seen the way she paraded, I got turned off her. I've gone with Anesta. I think Anesta's going to be primed for this race. She's the sort of horse that can only win the Oaks. They wouldn't have been trying to win those lead-up races, so I'm going with her on an each-way basis. I think she's a good play.
If it plays out that way, and for Ollie, well, this would be big, wouldn't it, to draw level with the great Roy Higgins on 108 Group 1 wins. We'll find out all about it after this. So what a highlight this is, an Oaks Day at Royal Randwick, and a fantastic field, lots of depth, but a pronounced favourite. Let's go to Crown Bet. Matthew Campbell, the market mover.
Once again, it's James's tip. Bruce Hanesta has come in another full $1 since we last looked at it. So our market mover is the horse that was runner-up to Jamaica in the spring, Hanesta.
In fact, 1, 2, 3 from Flemington in the Oaks are here today. So James Jordan goes Hanesta. That's his selection for the Oaks today. And I reckon for the first time today, the three experts, other than James, are all on the same page.
It's about time you blokes jumped on board, Tim.
I've been with you all day, you know that. Actually, I've been with you for over a month now. I just go where you go.
Well, there she is on screen. She presented the best in the yard. She thrives on racing. She doesn't mind a wide barrier because she's got a big frame, big legs, big action. She likes to get her room early and then roll into it. Ollie will take the best part of 400 metres to get across and get her into a nice rhythm.
One of the exciting things about this is that we all think Kieran Maher's a gun trainer, and he is, but he's taken a chance. He's raced this filly in the Derby. He's had to back her back. He's going to be proven to be brilliant in the next 5 minutes, or maybe we're going to say, gee, that filly was slightly over the top. That's what racing's about. So it's a challenge, and let's see if Kieran has pulled the right rein.
There's nothing to suggest that, Bruce. She's always a little toey before she races. She's not overly sweating. She looked fantastic in the yard. You know, horses are getting the end of their preps. You know, they tuck up and they look skinny, for want of a better way of putting it. They lose that roundness underneath their belly. Well, she's been able to keep it right throughout her preparation. I think that's a key to Kieran and his training methods. Coming from a jumping background, I think he gets such a good base into his horses early doors. They can handle long and strong preparation.
Well, she'll become the 12th filly to win the Victoria Derby and the AJC Derby, and she'll become just as good as Research if she's able to back up from the Derby. Now, Research won the Derby. She was an amazing filly and then backed up and won the Oaks, so she was terrific. But it's a big job ahead of her, that is for sure. Grand Archway was also another super filly.
So Believe we just saw Ronnie. I don't think Ollie, in fact, I can't find a winner for Ollie in an Oaks here, so this is big stuff, left, right and centre. There's the favourite, she's in the stalls. Let's go to Darren Swindell for the Australian Oaks.
Could improve this preparation, and Believe goes in. And we're all set now, ready for the Australian Oaks. Stand by for a getaway. The favourite's drawn the outside gate, Jamaica. And she's a bit restless in the stalls. She settles better now. Good line, racing. And Capella's taken back at the start. No pace by Alaskan Rose. Self-Esteem, Valley Girl, Hanester have all jumped well together with Ambience, Believe, Shabu. The favourite Jamaica's being snagged back to last. Posing up midfield is Sacred Eye on the fence. Severe Roses finding a spot in front of Happy Hannah. Then came Alaskan Rose. Single Gaze caught deep out of the straight. The favourite Jamaica's back second last, and Capella's the last one. Valley Girl first to find the rails, but Self-Esteem's going to head her off, and Self-Esteem takes up the gallop in the Oaks by 2 lengths on Valley Girl. Ambience goes to third, Hanester fourth without cover, followed then by Shabu on the inside of Believe. Further back to Diamond Maid, then Sacred Eye, Sophia Rosa. Then came Happy Hannah from Alaskan Rose, Single Gaze, Jamaica second last in a bit of a pocket and keen, and Capella is the last one. They run past the mile, and Self-Esteem is running along. Mark Zara lets her go. She's 4 lengths clear from Valley Girl. Believe goes into a clear third, followed by Hanester. Ambience hugging the rails. 2 further back to Diamond Maid on the outside of Shabu. Then Sophia Rosa in the second half of the field. Sacred Eye back on the fence on the inside of Happy Hannah. Then Single Gaze from Alaskan Rose, Jamaica. I think Oliver takes off now, working down the back. He's getting a little bit closer in any case on Jamaica, and Capella is still back last. It's Self-Esteem coming back to the field at the 1,000-metre mark. A length clear from Believe in second, Valley Girl third, then came Hanester. Further back to Ambience, Sophia Rosa taking closer order. Then Diamond Maid from Happy Hannah, Shabu. Jamaica still back fourth last from Sacred Eye, and Capella is back last of all down the side of the track, and it's Self-Esteem in front from Valley Girl and Believe. Then Hanester, Ambience, Sophia Rosa, Diamond Maid, Shabu the inside. Shin gets going now, and Happy Hannah, she's picking up at the 600 metres. Jamaica getting onto her back from Single Gaze. Then Sacred Eye from Alaskan Rose, and Capella is the last one. Around the turn, Valley Girl goes up on the inside of Self-Esteem. Valley Girl hugging the fence. Single Gaze has fallen back in the field. Believe going to third, followed then by Ambience, Sophia Rosa, then came Shabu. Jamaica gives them a big start. It's Valley Girl, Self-Esteem, Believe. Sophia Rosa's lifting. Ambience for the last shot of them. Jamaica is trying. Sophia Rose hits the lead. Sophia Rose in front from Believe and Ambience, and Sophia Rose takes out the Australian Oaks. She beat Ambience and Believe, followed by Jamaica. Then Shabu, Capella late. Valley Girl couldn't pick up on the fence. Then Sacred Eye, Hanester, Self-Esteem, Alaskan Rose, Diamond Maid, Happy Hannah sprint. She found bother on the home turn when Single Gaze fell, and Kathy O'Hara's down on the track.
And obviously that is a very big story, and we will be watching that and just hoping at the moment that everything's okay there. Look, Hugh Bowman wins. He's just having the most remarkable day. He's had 4 winners. It's his 3rd Oaks. This filly comes off the New Zealand Oaks where she lost on protest. She covered ground. It was an amazing win. She'd come here in the spring. She was only knee-high to a grasshopper. She's filled out a bit. Jamaica was a very strong run, but she had a lot to do, and Ambience was probably the big surprise.
A big surprise. She's shown no form this autumn whatsoever, but take nothing away from the winner. She had nothing go right for her. She travelled wide the whole journey. they're tough and they're strong when you get to a mile and a half, these New Zealand stayers, and that's exactly what she brought to the table.
The other big surprise is Believe. She's run third.
Yeah, first shock of the race was Jamaica snagged from the start, goes back to second last. I thought she was huge. She over-raced, got on heels. This filly here, though, she was exposed too early in the New Zealand Oaks. She was a sitting duck. She wobbled down the straight until she was challenged. She lost it on protest. She won the race, but due to her greenness, have a look at her wanting to run in here on one rein. Huey Bowman, he doesn't panic. 3 deep, OK, I know you can stay. I'm going to give you the room. I'm going to wait and let you show me how good a stayer you are. She was on one rein, the left rein, all the way down the straight, but my heart and my mind is with Kathy O'Hara right now.
The news right now, she's with the paramedics. She can move her legs. She's sitting up. So that will keep
Thank God for that.
Single gaze is OK. The horse is OK. So that's a really good result. Simon, Tavago last week you tipped us into as a roughie. You like this one as well. Well done to you. I mean, this one not quite the price, I know, but great tip. And she did hang in. Full credit to her. Believe. I mean, God, she started racing on February 6th this year. She runs third. Ambience runs second. Jamaica, Ollie, it was a big call to go back, wasn't it? Yep. Was it the right call?
Oh, look, in hindsight, we can all say no sitting here right now, but she jumped with them, but he had it clear in his mind that he wanted to try and get some cover on her and try something different with her today. In hindsight, there was genuine speed, as we could see, rolling out of the straight with self-esteem the first time. She probably could have slotted and fitted in just nicely, but we watched this from the top of the straight. That's Ollie to the left of the screen in the lime and the blue, but look at this winner on one rein. Huey Bowman, isn't he just on fire? Hits the lead in the Nathan Berry medal.
Huey's on fire, and Carter Kiwi win an Oaks and a Derby, Richo.
It is extraordinary. New Zealand win again, and Stephen Marsh joins me. Steve, what a super tough filly. They can't take this one off her.
No, thank God for that. Look, this is just an awesome race to win, and so proud of her. She got into a nice spot. You know, she was 3 wide, but Hugh had her so relaxed. She still wanted to do everything wrong in the straight. I thought, oh, here we go again. But no, she was good to the line, and look, it's just a huge buzz to win a race like this.
So many good judges are saying this is a year too soon. What she could be, and she's doing this purely on talent.
Well, we brought her over earlier on and gave her a couple of runs. She was, as Ron Dovesy said, she looked like a little foal, and that's what she did. But we've always had this in mind from a long way out. You know, Lib and Bruce, you know, this is the race they wanted to come for, and you know, I think all the planning and all the hard work's paid off. And you know, Troy Harris, he rides her every day. I tell you, she's attacked ponies here. She's jumped on horses, nearly killed him. You know, he takes a lot of credit. And my team back home, you know, she's difficult, but she gets a lot of time put into her, and that's where we get the results.
And the New Zealanders win the Derby and the Oaks and continually provide stayers.
Yeah, at least Trent can't have all the bragging rights now. He rang me this morning, wished me all the luck, and I said, mate, I don't know if I'll be able to face Cambridge if you're the only Group 1 winner of this, the championship carnival. So at least now we've both got bragging rights.
Fantastic. Can't wait to see her in the spring.
Yeah, thanks very much. Cheers.
Of course, the Marsh family have a great connection with the Melbourne Cup. Bruce Marsh, the father of Stephen Marsh, the great jockey, and have been so successful in Singapore over the years, haven't they?
Look out, Spring Carnival in Melbourne, Caulfield Cups, Melbourne Cups, Tavago, and now this filly. They have been super impressive. Sophia Rosa, when she learns what it's all about, as I mentioned, she lost the Oaks in New Zealand on protest because she's green as the grass she's running on, and today she was on one rein, wanting to lay in and still not wanting to attack the line. When that all happens and the penny drops, as we call it in racing, 4-year-old mares in Caulfield Melbourne Cups, Bruce, have got good records.
Oh, they sure have. If Black Caviar was 580 kilos, what would this filly weigh? She's not big, is she?
No, she's very thin. In athletic, though. She doesn't carry much on the girth and the belly, but she's athletic. Look at that length right through to the hind quarter. Got a great hip bone on her. That's where the power is.
Oh, Richo, you and this bloke are joined at the hip.
That's right. We're going to start to get him a Channel 7 contract the way he's going at the moment, Hugh Bowman. 4 wins. Super tough Kiwi filly there.
Yeah, she is. You know, I just had to be content with 3 wide, and I didn't have cover, and it's not ideal over a mile and a half, but like there was nothing I could do about it. I just had to keep her in a rhythm, and she's a difficult horse to ride, to say the least, and I'm just so pleased that I could win for the owner, because I may have cost him an Oaks a few years ago on Lucia Valentina, so you don't very often get a chance to redeem yourself, and I just can't believe it's happened, and I'm so grateful.
What is it with you and the Kiwi stayers, whether it be a Derby or an Oaks, you seem to always team up with the right one?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's years of riding for them, and, you know, obviously Lion Tamer was the first one with the VRC Derby, but, look, I've had wonderful association. Actually, I'll tell a lie, it was actually Daffodil was the first one in this very race, so to the Chittix, I'm sorry about that, but no, I've had a great association with a wide range of Kiwis, and look, for Stephen Marsh, I can't tell you what it means. He's a wonderful trainer, and he thoroughly deserves it.
4 winners on one of our great days of racing, including a Group 1. It just doesn't get any better than this.
It might.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Great stuff. And Richo, Kathy O'Hara has been placed in the ambulance. We're seeing some vision now, so I know you'll bring us right up to date there. I think single gaze is okay, Richo. Came back with the clerk of the course. I don't know if you've been able to have a look at that at all. A lot going on down there, mate, I know.
Yeah, no, that report is right. The Kathy O'Hara, I'll be straight on to that now, Bruce. We'll investigate and bring you all the latest news here on 7.
Yeah, thank you for that. So all fingers crossed there. Oh. Kathy, of course, was the toast of the racing world a couple of weeks ago, wasn't she, with the Vinery, and for her to have a ride in the Oaks today. But look, it is Huey's day. We talked about the fact that he might be the first jockey ever to win $20 million in a season. He was on about 14.3 before today. He's had 4 winners today, and he's won about $1.5 million to $2 million with the Queen Elizabeth, the Calm, and other big races. I mean, he's just, well, it's an old cliche. He's on fire. Been run and won Sophia Rose, so Stephen Marsh, the trainer. His father, Bruce, won the 1971 Melbourne Cup as a jockey on Silver Knight. Greg Templeton was the trainer there, so the Kiwis were going great guns in those days. Greys were winning too. Bagno Note was the year before, so correct weight after Royal Randwick. On the Oaks, Ambience was second, Believe was third, Jamaica was fourth, $34,642.
Just that New Zealand Derby form stood up.
Unbelievable. I mean, you're spot on. Well, actually, no, Sophia Rosa comes through the Oaks, of course, in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Tavago came through that, and the other fillies came through the Derby as well. So let's catch up now with Amanda.
Well, this lady needs no introductions. Dami Im, you look incredible. Tell us about your look today.
Thank you. I'm wearing the amazing Alchemy. And, yeah, I love this dress. I love Alchemy.
Now, you've got a very busy schedule ahead, don't you? Eurovision next month. How exciting.
Oh, look, it's less than a month left till I actually fly over to Sweden. So I'm really, I don't know, I'm excited, but I'm super nervous as well. It's getting so close.
You'll do us proud, I'm sure. Now, of course, it is about the racing today. What's your strategy? Do you have any tips on picking a winner?
I don't think anyone should come to me for advice. I'm always the one that's losing, but I don't know. I just eat all the food and just enjoy whatever happens. So that's my strategy.
I don't blame you. That's a pretty good strategy. Well, we'll let you get straight to that. Thanks so much for your time, Dami, and good luck next month.
Thank you.
Model, fashion blogger, and of course host of Maya Fashions on the Field, the gorgeous Nikki Phillips. Now, Nikki, what have been your fashion highlights during the championships?
Well, obviously last Saturday we saw monochrome come in, which of course was Derby Day. So, a very strong play with black and white, and the ladies really nailed that on the head. They really showed their style. Today we've obviously got a little bit of colour, which I think is more fun. It's harder sometimes to style, but Fashions on the Field is all about taking trends and making them their own, really showing their individual style. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to have today.
Lots of colour, I think, and we've indeed coordinated. I quite like this look. Now, how would you describe the look for the autumn racing season?
Well, I'm excited because we're seeing a lot of block colours come through. Lace, which you've dressed perfectly for today, which is very feminine. And, of course, that 70s vibe is playing really strong, so there's beautiful bell sleeves and great necklines.
And you've brought an incredible style to the track. Can you tell us what you're wearing?
I am wearing Yosion Bay Nerida Winter, and, Yosion just knows how to make a girl feel great, so...
Let's take a look at the dress. It's stunning. Well, thank you so much, Nikki Phillips. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Australia's other great 2-mile race. Since 1866, the nation's best stayers have tackled the famous Randwick Rise at the finish of the Group 1 Sydney Cup. Hall of Famers, Carbine, Kingston Town and Mackay Diva are all on the honour roll. The last 3 years have been dominated by the big stables of Williams, Waterhouse and Waller. This year's edition will see these powerhouses clashing again for $2 million in prize money. The Chris Waller Show rolls on with last year's Quinella Horses Grand Marshal and Who Shot the Barman joined by the emerging stayer Libra. Waller is striving for a 4th straight win.
So the Sydney Cup next up, and then, of course, following that is the old Queen of the South and then the Longines Queen Elizabeth. Let's have a look at the totes now for the Sweps Sydney Cup. So $360 for Who Shot the Barman, $460 Grand Marshal and $370 Liberum. So Chris Waller dominating, isn't he? He had the Quinella last year. He might get the trifecta this year. Now, we had a fall in the previous, obviously, with Single Gaze and Kathy O'Hara. Richo's just joined me in the Theatre of the Horse. What about Kathy?
Yeah, well, gee, it wasn't an eerie feeling whenever one of our jockeys goes down. Now, the good news is she's conscious. She is complaining. Firstly, she's in a lot of pain, and she's complaining about a collarbone injury at the moment. The good news is she was put on the gurney fairly quickly to eliminate any neck injuries. We'll have a riding change in the Sydney Cup. Lycus Carousel was to be ridden by Kathy O'Hara. And now we also start an investigation as to what caused the fall. Blake Shin and Damien Oliver are two of the jockeys that will be certainly involved in that investigation.
OK, so we're having a look at the fall now. So you can see Jamaica and Happy Hannah involved as well. So it got pretty tight, didn't it?
That's right. Well, Jamaica pushing out, and then by the look of that, we haven't got the side-on view. It looks like Single Gaze has clipped the heels of Happy Hannah, and as a result, Kathy's had a very serious fall. Such an eerie feeling out of the front when a big fall in such a massive race day. And just a reminder also, I know the National Jockeys Trust do a lot for injured jockeys. I think a great reminder for everyone out there how dangerous this sport is.
Absolutely. So let's hope that all's well with Kathy. But it's a pretty good report. Just very quickly, it was a strange move by Ollie early. I mean, was there much talk about that with Jamaica so far back?
Well, she just missed the kick by just half a